It's just hard not to fall in love with Rome. Foodies will inevitably indulge in pasta and gelato. There are probably hundreds of family-owned businesses here that have been selling these delicacies for decades. For others, the city's rich history, epic ancient old structures, and super-friendly locals are the things that make them keep coming back to the city of Seven Hills. Are you going to Rome anytime soon? Whether you're coming with a special someone, the whole family, or just by yourself, here are the top 10 things to do in Rome to make your trip unforgettable. Number 10. The Pantheon. The Pantheon is a stunning ancient Roman structure that represents the city's enduring cultural legacy. It's also home to the tombs of famous Italian figures as well as stucco reliefs and frescoes. Interestingly, it was originally built as a pagan temple, but as the civilization evolved, it was later transformed into a religious place for devoted Christians. The coffered dome is a standout feature of the Pantheon. It's a series of man-made arches that were specifically designed to support the mass of the dome. From the outside, you can see this place as a simple yet elegant and refined architectural design. With Corinthian columns and a blend of proportion and symmetry, it surely captivates everyone visiting. Number 9. Vatican Gardens. Sure enough, you know that the Vatican is the smallest country in the world, but did you know that 50% of its land surface is occupied by lush lawns and well-maintained vegetation? Vatican Gardens might not always be on lists of the best places to visit in Rome, but if you have a soft spot in your heart for plants, you should definitely include a visit there on your itinerary. This place covers almost 23 hectares, which include Italian, English, and French gardens, as well as a thick wooded area. Most of the plants here come from Mediterranean regions, but if you're a botanical enthusiast, you'll notice that there are exotic species brought from distant countries as well. On top of that, you'll also find Renaissance buildings and medieval remains. Number 8. Vicus Caprarius. It's evident that the Trevi Fountains don't require any more introduction. Millions of people come here every year, and heaven only knows how many times it's served as the background of Instagram photos. What you may not know, though, is that if you walk a few meters away, you'll eventually come to an underground city that provides water for the fountains. Enter the unassuming entrance, and you'll be taken through maze-like ancient vestiges beneath the Trevi district. You'll get a first-hand experience of not only how ancient Romans distributed water to the city, but also how the richest ones used private aqueducts. Keep in mind, however, that the space is not big and the air is rather damp, so be careful if you have an allergy. Number 7. Piaza di Spagna. Piaza di Spagna is one of the most well-known meeting points for both locals and visitors. It's also served as an iconic backdrop to numerous events, exhibits, and street performances. Yet the square has also developed a reputation as a major hub for art enthusiasts, thanks to the presence of high-end fashion and lifestyle brands. One thing to remember when visiting Piaza di Spagna is that you're not allowed to sit on the steps. This decision was made in 2019 to allow visitors to enjoy the unimpeded beauty of the area. You may also need to be careful when consuming food and drinks. And if you want to enjoy the annual flower exhibits, it's best to visit during the warmer months. Number 6. Piaza Venezia. Another famous meeting point is Piaza Venezia, which is located at the final stretch of Via del Corso. For centuries, the piazza has been a central activity for Romans, as evident from the discovery of ancient ruins, including remains of Atin Hill, a school centered on scientific learning and literature that existed during Emperor Hadrian's rule. Whether you're heading to the Pantheon or the Trevi Fountains, it's just impossible to miss Piaza Venezia. Be careful with the heavy traffic, though, and at night, the nearby Vittorio Emanuele Monument is dramatically lit with laser and decorative lights. So don't forget to bring your camera and set aside some space in your phone's memory. Number 5. Trajan's Column. Standing 35 meters tall, Trajan's Column is an impressive monument and also a propaganda piece that's been surviving since 113 AD. It was built by Apollodorus of Damascus in honor of Emperor Trajan's success in conquering Dacia, which we know now as Romania. Here you can find a massive column made from Carrara marble and wrapped with a helical frieze. So what's the big deal about this massive column? It's hollow on the inside, and there's a staircase that winds up to the top, taking visitors to a platform with a statue of St. Peter on top of it. Not far from this location, you can spend the rest of the afternoon at Trajan's Market, a multi-level market with an apartment complex on its upper floors. Number 4. The Mouth of Truth. Do you want to see how good Romans are at preserving historic pieces? The Mouth of Truth, or La Bocca della Verità, is a 2,000-year-old disc found in the original location of the Temple of Hercules. Today it can be found in the Santa Maria Comedian Church. There you can pay a couple of euros to take a picture and put your hands into its mouth. Legend has it that the mouth will bite your fingers if you tell a lie. And while you're there, don't miss the opportunity to go inside the church. Don't expect to find anything funny, though, because the name is derived from a Greek word that translates to purity in English. Instead, you'll find the skull of St. Valentine, which is an important relic in the Catholic tradition. Number 3. The Atin Hill. The Atin Hill is one of the 7 famous hills in Rome. It's relatively unknown to foreign travelers, but you can see a lot of locals hanging out there on the weekend. Some of the highlights of this area are 2 lush gardens and 2 charming churches. Overall, it's like an open-air museum complex. With intriguing churches, leafy streets, and quiet residential areas, this place is the perfect antidote to Rome's most touristy areas. And it should come as no surprise that this location is frequently mentioned in Roman mythology, since it took its name from the legendary king of Alba Longa, King Aventinus. It also makes an appearance in poet Virgil's Aeneid. Number 2. Palazzo Altemps. Are you a fan of intricate architectural details? If yes, then this place is a haven for you. Before you enter the palace, don't skip the details in the corner tower. And as you enter the building, pay close attention to the cortile, the beautiful inner courtyard area. Also, take your time to observe how the walls and ceilings are covered with sumptuous frescoes. Just like other Italian museums, most of the items here come from private collections that were handed over to the state. Some notable items are the Ludovisi throne and the suicidal Gaul. To reach this place, you can take the bus. In addition, you should also know that the ticket to this place also provides access to the backs of Diocletian and the Crypta Balbi. Number 1. The Boress Gallery. Despite its modest size and unassuming exterior, the Boress Gallery is unquestionably worthy of a prominent spot on any list of Rome's must-see sites. Situated amidst the lush and exquisite embrace of Villa Borghese, this petite art gallery lets you enjoy the view without the crowd, as it can only accommodate up to 360 guests at once. Additionally, each visitor is only permitted to stay for 2 hours, which is ideal for exploring the area. You'll most likely see the best Baroque collection while strolling around. For instance, there are 10 well-known pieces by Gian Lorenzo Bernini on display, in addition to works by Raphael, Caravaggio, and Peter Paul Rubens. The takeaway. What do you think about the things mentioned on the list? Rome, without a doubt, is a place immense in not only history, but also culture and cuisine. But there's one hard and fast rule about visiting this city. Don't try to include every activity and every place in one trip. The city's simply just too massive and too varied to be discovered in one single trip. In addition, allow yourself to discover more than the Colosseum, the Vatican, and the Roman Forum. Yes, they're incredibly famous for a reason, but they can be mind-bogglingly crowded most of the time. Pick the wrong time to visit, and chances are you'll spend most of your time staring at the backside of people's heads, which obviously isn't something you plan to do. If you really want to visit these popular places, it's wise to arrange your trip with a private guide. Typically, they'll be able to get you in before the crowd, or if you want to keep your budget low, you can come in an hour before the ticket booth closes when everyone's already leaving the place. It's also a good idea to make a plan B, which you can take inspiration from the list we've shown to you in this video. Guys, to really make your stay a memorable one, you have to check out the best restaurants in Rome. Simply click on the video in the top right corner. See you in the next video.